The last time I trusted my sister, my 3-year-old son almost died. I don't say that for drama. I say it because it's the truth. And once you've wrapped your freezing toddler in your coat and rocked him behind a dumpster at 2 a.m, the word trust stops meaning what it used to. My name is Shanice. I'm 28, a single mum, and a medical assistant who works 12-hour shifts and still finds time to pack dinosaur-shaped sandwiches for my son, Aiden. I don't do reckless. I don't do chaos. I don't ask for help unless I absolutely need it. But that night, I did. Just take the car and drop off the package at the UPS on 5th, I told Skylar. He's already in his car seat. You'll be back before I finish folding laundry. She smiled, all lip gloss and fake lashes. Of course, sis, I got you. I love that little nugget. I should have known better, but the way she kissed Aiden's forehead and promised she'd be right back, I believed her. I wanted to believe her. 2 hours passed, then 3. I called. No answer. I texted. Nothing. At 11:42 p.m, my phone buzzed. Unknown number. I answered so fast I nearly dropped it. Loud music, laughter. Then her voice slurred and giggling. Shanice, girl, don't freak. Your car got towed. It's fine. Aiden's... Wait, where did... The line went dead. I stood in the middle of my living room, laundry half folded, heart pounding like I'd been dropped into ice water. My baby was gone, my car was gone, and my sister, God knows where. I called 911. The dispatcher asked calm, measured questions. My name, my son's name, when I last saw him. I answered robotically. I couldn't think. My hands were shaking so bad I could barely hold the phone. The officer who showed up was young, maybe fresh out of the academy. He tried to keep his voice steady, but when I told him my sister had left with my son 6 hours ago and now didn't know where he was, even he looked spooked. We tracked the car first. Impounded at 9:13 p.m. from a parking lot near some warehouse club downtown. I rode with the officer to the lot, hoping, praying Aiden would be in the back seat, asleep. He wasn't. The car was locked, empty, reeking of weed and perfume. There was a half-empty bottle of vodka rolling under the passenger seat. I lost it. She said she was going to UPS, I screamed. She said she'd be right back. The officer called for backup. They pulled security footage from the lot. Around 8:50 p.m, Skylar stumbled out of the car with some guy I didn't recognise. They were laughing, holding hands. Aiden was still strapped in the back. They walked away, left him. The next 2 hours were a blur. Police combed the area. I called Delilah, my best friend, sobbing so hard she could barely understand me. She dropped everything and met me downtown in her pajamas. It was Delilah who found him, behind a dumpster, curled up, shivering, clutching his little stuffed dinosaur like a lifeline. His cheeks were streaked with tears and dirt. He didn't even cry when I picked him up, just buried his face in my neck and held on tight. I wrapped him in my coat and rocked him, whispering, "I got you, I got you, I got you," over and over until my voice cracked. He was cold, hungry, but alive. We took him to the hospital just to be sure. Mild hypothermia, dehydration. The doctor said we were lucky. Lucky. That word made me want to scream. Skylar didn't show up until the next afternoon. She waltzed into the ER like she was the victim. Sunglasses on, hair in a messy bun, still wearing the same sequin top from the night before. "Oh my God," she said when she saw me. "You're being so dramatic. I was going to come back." I didn't say a word, just stared at her. If I opened my mouth, I knew I'd break something. Maybe her nose. She rolled her eyes. "He was fine. I left the window cracked." Delilah grabbed my arm, probably to stop me from lunging. That night, after Aiden was asleep in my bed, I sat at the kitchen table staring at the login screen for the wedding fund account. Skylar's fund the one my parents had been building for her since she was 16. 50 grand, give or take. I knew the password. Of course I did. I was the one who set it up for them when they couldn't figure out how to use online banking. It took less than 5 minutes to transfer every dollar into a new account under Aiden's name. College fund, therapy fund, whatever he needed. I didn't feel a single ounce of guilt. They still had no idea what they started, but they would. "You took the money?" my mother shrieked, slamming her palm on my kitchen table so hard my coffee sloshed over the rim. I didn't flinch. I moved it. My father stood behind her, jaw clenched, arms crossed like he was holding himself back from flipping the whole table. That was for Skylar's wedding. "And Aiden almost died," I said flatly, wiping the spilled coffee with a napkin. "But, sure, let's talk about centerpieces." "You're being vindictive," my mum snapped. "Skylar made a mistake." "She abandoned my son behind a dumpster," I cut in. "That's not a mistake. That's criminal." "She's your sister, and he's my child." Silence. They didn't come to check on Aiden, didn't ask how he was, didn't bring him a toy or a juice box. They came for the money. My dad finally spoke. "You could have talked to us." I laughed. "Like when I told you she was drunk driving at 17 and you grounded me for snitching. Or the time she crashed my car and blamed me and you made me pay the deductible." My mum's voice softened. "She's struggling, Shanice." I stood up, slow and calm. "You care more about her Instagram following than your grandson's safety. Get out of my house." They stared at me like I'd slapped them. "Now," I said. They left without another word. After they were gone, I locked the door and sat on the floor next to Aiden's toy bin. He was napping with his dino tucked under his arm, unaware of the war that had just begun. Delilah came over that night with wine and a USB drive. "I found something," she said, sliding it across the table. "Security footage from the club Skylar was at. My cousin works there." I plugged it into my laptop. The screen flickered, then showed grainy footage of Skylar stumbling out of the club with a tall guy in a hoodie. They laughed, kissed, then walked toward the parking lot. The timestamp matched the impound record. Then I saw it. Aiden in the back seat of my car, his little face pressed to the window as they walked away. I paused the video. My hands were shaking again, but not from fear this time. "You okay?" Delilah asked. I nodded. "Yeah, I'm just done playing nice." The next morning, I created a burner email account and sent the video to Chandler. No subject line, no message, just the file. I didn't expect a response. I didn't need one. But by that evening, Skylar was blowing up my phone. Skylar. "What did you do?" Skylar. "Chandler won't answer me." Skylar. "You're ruining my life." Skylar. "Pick up the phone." I didn't. Instead, I started digging. Her social media was a goldmine. She was always tagging locations, always posting stories. I traced back her posts from the last 6 months, logging every club, every party, every brand she worked with. Then I started contacting them, anonymously, of course. "Hi, just wanted to let you know the influencer you're sponsoring recently abandoned a child while intoxicated. Here's the footage." I didn't need to say more. Within a week, 3 of her brand deals were gone. One issued a public statement about reassessing partnerships. Her follower count started dropping. Slowly at first, then like a landslide. She posted a crying selfie. "People are so cruel. Mental health is real. Be kind." I almost laughed. But I wasn't done. I reached out to her old college roommate, Tasha. We hadn't spoken in years, but I remembered the way Tasha left school suddenly. Something about a cheating scandal that never quite added up. "Hey," I messaged, "I'm working on something about Skylar. You in?" Tasha replied in 5 minutes. Absolutely. She sent me screenshots, old texts. One in particular made my stomach turn. Skylar. You should get rid of it before you end up like my loser sister. Tasha. Wow, that's harsh. She's us, Skylar. I'm just saying, she's stuck with a kid and no man. That's not a life. That's a cautionary tale. I stared at it for a long time. Then I sent that screenshot to Chandler too. 2 days later, I got a text from an unknown number. Chandler. Can we meet? I think I know who she's been cheating with. I need to talk to you. I stared at the message, heart pounding. Delilah looked over my shoulder. You gonna go? I nodded. Yeah, I want to hear it. She raised an eyebrow. You sure you're ready for whatever he's about to say? I looked at Aidan, sitting on the floor with his dino, humming to himself. I'm not sure of anything, I said. But I'm not stopping now. We met at a diner on the edge of town, the kind with sticky menus and coffee that tastes like burnt hope. Chandler was already there, sitting in a booth by the window, nervously stirring a cup of tea he hadn't touched. He looked up when I walked in. Shanice. I slid into the booth across from him. You said you had something to tell me. He nodded, eyes darting around like someone might be listening. I didn't know who else to talk to. I haven't told anyone this. Start talking. He pulled out his phone, tapped a few times, then turned the screen to me. It was a text thread, Skylar's name at the top. The messages scrolled back months. Skylar, you ever think about what could have been? Skylar, I mean, you were always hotter than Shanice? Unknown, you're wild. Skylar, I'm serious. I used to wonder what it'd be like with you. Unknown, you know I got a kid with her, right? I froze. Who's the other number? I asked, already knowing. Chandler looked me in the eye. Dwayne. I sat back stunned. She's been sleeping with him, I said, voice low. He nodded. Since before we got engaged. I found out last week. I confronted her. She denied it, then cried, then said she was drunk, then blamed me. Of course she did. She told me you didn't talk to him anymore, I muttered. She said the same about you, he said. I thought maybe you should know. I stared out the window, watching a truck rumble past. She always wanted what she couldn't have, even if it meant destroying it. Chandler sighed. I thought she loved me. I was going to marry her. I met his eyes. She doesn't love anyone but herself. He nodded slowly. I want to help you. Whatever you're doing, I'm in. I didn't smile, just said, good. That night, I sent screenshots of the texts to myself. Then, I sent them to a local gossip page that covered influencers and wannabe celebs. I knew the editor from high school. She owed me a favour. Got a story for you, I texted. Skylar, cheating, baby mama's ex, receipts included. She posted it the next morning. It blew up in hours. Skylar's comment section turned into a war zone. Wait, she cheated with her sister's baby daddy? This girl is toxic. You're still following her after she left a toddler in a car? She disabled comments by noon, deleted her last 3 posts, went quiet. But I wasn't done. My parents called again. I didn't answer. Then they showed up at my job. I was walking to my car when I saw them standing by it, arms crossed, faces tight. What now? I asked, unlocking the door. You need to stop, my mum said. You're ruining her life. She ruined her own life, I said, opening the door. She's in therapy, my dad added. She's trying to get better. Good for her, I said, sliding into the driver's seat. She can get better without dragging the rest of us down. You're obsessed, my mum snapped, that this isn't healthy. I looked at her. Neither is enabling a grown woman who leaves toddlers in parking lots. She flinched. I shut the door and drove off. Later that week, Delilah came over with Thai food and a flash drive. Remember when Skylar blamed you for that car crash sophomore year? She asked, digging into her noodles. Yeah, I had to pay for the damage. My parents said it was easier that way. Well, she said, plugging the drive into my laptop. I found the police report. Witness said the driver was blonde. You were still dyeing your hair black back then. I stared at the screen. They knew. Of course they did, she said. They just didn't care. I leaned back in my chair. I'm so tired of pretending. You don't have to anymore, she said. Burn it all down. I did. That night, I posted an anonymous thread on Reddit, titled it, My Sister Was the Golden Child. Then she left my son behind a dumpster. I told everything. The party, the footage, the cheating, the lies, the favoritism. I included screenshots, blurred out names, but enough to make it real. It went viral. People were furious. The comments poured in. Protect that baby at all costs. Your parents are trash. She deserves everything coming to her. Then, around 2 a.m, someone knocked on my door. I looked through the peephole. Skylar. She was barefoot, in sweatpants, mascara streaked down her face. She looked like a ghost. I opened the door an inch. What? I didn't mean for any of it to happen, she whispered. I was drunk. I was stupid. I didn't think. You never do. She wiped her nose. I'm in therapy. I'm trying. Please. I can't breathe. Everyone hates me. I looked at her, really looked at her. Then I shut the door in her face. I didn't lock it. I didn't need to. She wouldn't be back. We met at a park, neutral ground. Chandler sat on a bench under a tree, tossing pebbles at his feet. I brought Aiden with me. He ran straight to the slide, giggling like the world hadn't cracked in half just weeks ago. Thanks for coming, Chandler said. I sat down beside him. You said you found something. He nodded. I went through her iPad. She left it at my place before everything blew up. I shouldn't have looked, but I did. And? He pulled out his phone, tapped the screen, and handed it to me. It was a photo. Skylar and Dwayne. In bed. His arm around her, both of them smiling like they hadn't just set fire to everything I'd built. I stared at it. When was this? 2 months ago. Right after she told me she was cutting all toxic people out of her life. Guess she meant you. I handed the phone back. She swore she hadn't talked to him in years. She told me the same thing. We sat in silence, watching Aiden climb the ladder to the slide. I want to help, Chandler said, not just because I'm angry, because she almost hurt your kid. And that's unforgivable. I nodded. Good, because I'm not done. The next few days I kept my head down. I went to work, took Aiden to daycare, smiled at neighbours. But at night, I planned. Skylar's engagement was hanging by a thread. She was still posting cryptic quotes on Instagram. Healing isn't linear. Some people only love you when you're silent. But Chandler had already moved out. Quietly. No announcement. Just gone. My parents, though, still acting like the wedding was happening. They even sent out a save the date email. I nearly choked on my coffee when I saw it. Are they serious? Delilah said, reading over my shoulder. She's a walking PR disaster. They're desperate, I said. If she gets married, it validates everything, makes it all look like a rough patch. So what's the plan? Expose the rest. That night, I got a knock on my door. I opened it, expecting Delilah. Instead, it was a man in a suit. He handed me a thick envelope. Miss Horton? He asked. Yeah? You've been served. I opened the envelope. My stomach dropped. Restraining order, filed by Skylar, claiming harassment, stalking, emotional distress. I laughed. Actually, laughed out loud. She was trying to flip the script. "She's insane," I said, tossing the papers on the counter. Delilah picked them up. "You need a lawyer." "I need a flamethrower." But I got the lawyer. We met the next day. I brought everything: screenshots, footage, messages, even the Reddit thread. She looked through it all, then looked at me. "You're going to be fine," she said. "This isn't harassment. It's documentation." She filed a response. The hearing was set for 2 weeks later. In the meantime, I leaked the final piece. I sent the Duane affair. Texts, photos, even a voice memo. Skylar left him crying about how Shanice always gets sympathy to the same gossip page. They ran it as a follow-up. Local influencer Skylar caught in sister's ex scandal. Her reputation? Shredded. Brand deals? Gone. Comments? Brutal. So, she's the villain in every story. Imagine doing this to your own sister. This isn't cancel culture. It's consequences. Then came the family therapy session. My mom insisted, said it was the only way to heal. I showed up late, wearing all black. Skylar was already there, sitting cross-legged in a chair, sipping water like she was the victim. My parents flanked her like bodyguards. The therapist, a woman named Janine, gave me a polite smile. "Thanks for joining us, Shanice." I nodded. "Let's get it over with." Janine opened with something about communication and healing. I didn't respond, neither did Skylar. Then Janine asked, "Shanice, how do you feel your family has supported you through this?" I laughed. "They haven't." My mum frowned. "That's not true." "You showed up at my job to yell about wedding money," I said. "You didn't even ask how Aiden was doing." My dad shifted in his seat. "We didn't want to make things worse." "You mean public?" I snapped. "You didn't want it to look bad." Skylar rolled her eyes. "This isn't helping." I turned to her. "You left my son behind a dumpster." "I didn't mean to," she shouted. "It was one mistake." "One?" I raised an eyebrow. "Let's talk about the car crash, the fake pregnancy scare, the time you stole my ID to buy alcohol. I was a kid." "You're still acting like one." Janine tried to step in, but it was too late. "I spent my whole life cleaning up after you," I said, "and they let you, every time, because you were pretty, because you smiled, because you cried." My mum's eyes welled up. "We tried our best." "No," I said. "You tried to keep the peace, and peace meant letting her burn everything while I held the fire extinguisher." My dad stood up. "I'm done with this." He walked out. My mum sat there shaking. Skylar looked like she wanted to disappear. I stood. "Good talk." That night, I got another knock. I opened the door slowly. Skylar again, drunk, crying. "I lost everything," she whispered. I didn't say a word. She reached for me. I shut the door in her face. Again. The courtroom was cold, not physically, but in that sterile, fluorescent way that makes your skin crawl. Skylar sat across from me, in a beige blazer that probably cost more than my rent, fake crying into a tissue like she was auditioning for a soap opera. The judge flipped through the file. My file, the screenshots, the footage, everything my lawyer submitted in response to the restraining order. "Miss Horton," he said, looking at Skylar, "you claim your sister has been harassing and stalking you, but based on this evidence, it appears she's documenting your behaviour after you endangered her child." Skylar opened her mouth, but nothing came out. The judge turned to me. "Do you have anything to add?" I stood up. "Just that I've spent my entire life protecting her. This is the first time I've protected myself." He nodded. "Restraining order denied." Outside the courthouse, Delilah was waiting with coffee and a grin. "Victory tastes like hazelnut," she said, handing me the cup. I took a sip. She thought she could flip the script. She's been flipping scripts her whole life. You just finally wrote the ending. We walked to the car. My phone buzzed. A notification from the gossip page said to breaking, local influencer's secret affair with sister's ex exposed. The post had everything. Blurred photos, text screenshots, even a voice note where Skylar begged Dwayne not to ruin her image. I didn't leak that one. Chandler did. Later that night, I got a text from my mum. Mom, please stop. She's not well. We're trying to get her help. I didn't respond. Instead, I opened Reddit. Delilah had posted a new thread. Title: My best friend's family let her sister ruin her life. Here's what they don't know. She laid it all out. The favoritism, the lies, the time Skylar nearly got a classmate expelled for cheating, something she did herself. The story went viral overnight. Thousands of upvotes, hundreds of comments. People were furious. This is why some people go no contact. That sister needs jail, not therapy. Protect the mom and her kid at all costs. The next morning, my mum called again. I let it ring. Then came the email. Subject: Family therapy follow-up. From Janine, the therapist. Body: I believe your family has reached a critical point. If you'd like to continue individually, I'm available. I deleted it. That evening, I was giving Aiden a bath when someone knocked. Delilah peeked out the window. It's her again. I dried my hands, walked to the door, and opened it just enough to see her face. Skylar looked worse than ever. No makeup, hair in a messy bun, eyes red. I'm sorry, she whispered. I didn't answer. I didn't mean for any of this, she said. I was scared. I thought if I didn't have the wedding or the followers or the brand deals, I'd be nothing. You left my son behind a dumpster, I said. You are nothing. She flinched. I know I messed up, but I'm in therapy now. I'm sober. I'm trying. I stared at her. You want forgiveness? She nodded slowly. Then start by forgiving yourself. I'm not doing that for you. I shut the door. No slam this time. Just quiet. After Aiden was asleep, I sat on the couch, scrolling through Skylar's social media. She'd gone dark for days. Then, suddenly, a live stream notification popped up. Skylar Horton has gone live. Delilah looked over. You watching this mess? Yup. We clicked in. There she was, sitting on the floor of what looked like a rehab room. Pale, hollow-eyed, holding a tissue. I want to talk about everything, she said. I know people are angry. I know I've hurt people. I've done a lot of things I'm not proud of. I've been dealing with mental health issues for years, and I never got help. I lashed out. I made mistakes. Delilah rolled her eyes. Cue the sad piano music. I've lost everything, Skylar continued. My fiancé, my sponsors, my family. But I'm working on myself. I hope someday people can see the real me. 5 minutes later, Chandler went live. Same app. Bigger audience. He didn't cry. He didn't rant. He just posted receipts, screenshots, dates, texts, photos, voicemails. Then he said, You want the real story? Here it is. He ended the stream with one line. Actions have consequences. I waited until Skylar's stream ended. Then I posted mine. It was a screen recording. Years of excuses. Voice memos from my mum saying, just let it go. Texts from my dad telling me to be the bigger person. Old voicemails from Skylar laughing about how Shanice always cleans up my messes. I titled it, The Golden Child Files. It exploded. By morning, the clip had over 200k views on TikTok. People stitched it, duetted it, commented their own stories. This is my family too. Golden child syndrome is real. This woman is a hero. Skylar disappeared offline. Paula called. Carl texted. I didn't answer either. Then, 3 days later, I got a letter in the mail. No return address. I opened it slowly. Inside was a single page. Hey, Shanice, I know I don't deserve to ask for anything, but I need to talk to you. It's about Aiden. Dwayne. I stared at the paper. Delilah looked up from her phone. Everything okay? I folded the letter. It's not over yet. Skylar went live on a Sunday morning just after 10. I was making pancakes for Aiden when the notification popped up on my phone. Skylar Horton has started a live stream. Delilah was already texting me. Delilah. Girl, she's doing it. The pity tour. Get on. I wiped syrup off my hands and clicked in. Skylar sat on a beige couch in a softly lit room, probably a rented studio or her therapist's office. She wore a grey hoodie, no makeup, hair tucked under a beanie. The comments were pouring in, half supportive, half brutal. I want to talk about everything, she started, voice low and shaky. I've been silent because I've been in treatment. I've been working on myself. And I know I hurt people. I know I made mistakes. She sniffled, dabbing her eyes with a tissue. I didn't mean to hurt my nephew. I love him. I was just in a bad place. I've struggled with depression and anxiety for years. I've never really talked about my trauma, about how our family pushed me to be perfect, about how I never got to be a kid. I nearly choked on my coffee. Delilah called me. You hearing this? Oh, I'm hearing it, I said, walking into the bedroom and closing the door. She's rewriting the whole script. She's weaponizing therapy. I know. She's trying to flip it again. I was already pulling up the app. Let's flip it back. 5 minutes later, Chandler went live. He didn't announce it. No tears, no soft lighting. Just him in a hoodie, sitting on a stool in his kitchen. Hey, he said. I wasn't planning to do this, but I just watched Skylar's live stream, and I can't stay quiet. The viewer count jumped. I was engaged to Skylar. I loved her. I believed her. But then I found out she was cheating on me with her sister's ex, the father of her nephew. And she didn't just cheat. She lied. She manipulated. She told me Shanice was crazy, that she was jealous, that she was making things up. He paused, then held up his phone. Here are the receipts. He scrolled through texts, voicemails, photos. Then he played a voice memo. Skylar recorded. If this gets out, I'll be done. Everyone loves Shanice. She's the mom, the victim. I'm the villain, no matter what I do. The comments exploded. She said it herself. This is next level gaslighting. She's not sorry. She's scared. Chandler looked directly into the camera. She didn't go to therapy because she wanted to change. She went because she got caught. He ended the stream. 10 minutes later, I posted my own. Not live, just a screen recording. I titled it, What They Didn't Want You to Hear. It started with a voicemail from my mum. Mom, voicemail. Shanice, please stop. You're making this worse. Just let it go for the family. Then a video clip from 2 years ago. Skylar at a party, drunk, laughing. Skylar on camera. I could kill someone and they'd still say I'm too pretty for jail. Then a text from my dad. Dad, don't ruin your sister's life over one mistake. It ended with the footage of Aiden in the back seat, alone, as Skylar walked away with that random guy. No commentary, no music, just the truth. I uploaded it. Within an hour, it had 300,000 views. By the end of the day, it hit 1 million. Skylar's live stream was taken down. Chandler's was still up. Mine was being shared on TikTok, Twitter, Reddit, even Instagram. People were tagging parenting blogs, mental health advocates, influencers. This is what real accountability looks like. She tried to cry her way out of consequences. Protect Shanice and Aiden at all costs. The next morning, I got a text from Chandler. Chandler. She's gone offline, deleted everything. Her mum says she checked into rehab again, or maybe just hiding. I didn't reply. A few days passed. Then the letter came. No return address. Just my name handwritten on the envelope. Inside was a folded piece of paper. Hey, Shanice. I know I don't deserve to ask you for anything, but I need to talk to you. It's about Aiden. Dwayne. I stared at the note for a long time. Delilah was sitting on my couch, scrolling through her phone. Everything okay? It's from Dwayne. She sat up. What does he want? Says he needs to talk. About Aiden. She raised an eyebrow. You gonna meet him? I folded the letter and slipped it into my pocket. Yeah, I think I have to. The next day, I met him at a coffee shop near the freeway. Neutral ground, public, safe. He looked older, tired. Not the cocky charmer I remembered, just a man with circles under his eyes and regret in his posture. Thanks for coming, he said. Say what you need to say. He took a deep breath. I didn't know Skylar was going to use those old texts. She told me she just wanted to vent. Then she threatened to leak them if I didn't keep seeing her. I blinked. She blackmailed you? He nodded. I was stupid. I should have said something. But I was scared and ashamed. You abandoned your son. I know, he said quickly. I know, and I can't undo that. But I want to be in his life now. If you'll let me. I'll take a DNA test. I'll pay support. I'll do whatever you say. I want to try. I sat back. Not for me. For him. He nodded. For him. I didn't say yes, but I didn't say no. We left it open. That night, I got one last notification. A Skylar. Horton has deactivated their account. No goodbye, no final post. Just gone. Dwayne showed up at the clinic on a Wednesday. I was finishing my shift, scrubs wrinkled, hair tied back, when I saw him waiting by the vending machine, holding a manila envelope. You came? I said, surprised. He nodded. I got the test. Sent it in last week. Results came this morning. I followed him to the break room. He opened the envelope and slid the paper across the table. 99.9% match. I stared at it. So, we're not crazy after all? He gave a weak smile. I always knew. I just didn't want to admit it. I folded the paper and tucked it into my bag. So, what now? I want to be in his life, he said. I know I don't deserve it. But I'm not here to play games. I'll do whatever it takes. If you want me to sign over rights, I will. If you want me to show up every other weekend, I will. Just let me try. I looked at him. You weren't there when he was sick, when he had night terrors, when I couldn't afford diapers and had to choose between gas and groceries. I know, he said. I was scared. I was selfish. But I'm not running anymore. I nodded slowly. This isn't about us. It's about him. So if you're serious, we'll start with supervised visits. You earn it. You don't get to skip the hard parts. He swallowed hard. Fair. I stood. Don't make me regret it. He didn't. Over the next few weeks, he showed up. On time. Brought snacks. Sat on the floor and played with Aiden like he was trying to rebuild something from splinters. I watched from a distance, arms crossed, ready to pull the plug if he slipped. But he didn't. Meanwhile, Skylar was a ghost. No posts, no stories, no live streams. Her name stopped trending. The gossip pages moved on. The influencers who once tagged her now acted like she never existed. Then Delilah called me one night. "She's back," she said. "Where?" "Studio apartment on the east side, cheap, monthly lease." I drove by. She looks rough. "Parents still paying for it?" "Probably. They're tapped out. Your mum's been spotted at the bank twice this week." I hung up and drove there the next day. The building was old. Peeling paint, rusted mailboxes. I found her door, 3C, and knocked. It took a minute before she opened it. Skylar stood there barefoot, wearing an oversized hoodie and leggings. Hair flat, no lashes, no filters. "Oh," she said, blinking. "It's you. Can I come in?" She stepped aside. The apartment was small. Mattress on the floor. Half-eaten cereal on the counter, a pile of unopened mail. "I'm not here to fight," I said. She sat on the edge of the bed. "Then why?" "Because I wanted to see what rock bottom looks like." She laughed once, dry and bitter. Well, here it is. I stayed standing. "I wanted you to lose everything." "I know. And you did." She nodded. "I deserved it." "But here's the difference," I said. "I still have my son. You only have your delusions." She looked up at me, eyes rimmed red. "I didn't mean to hurt him. You didn't care enough not to. I was drunk. I was stupid. You were always drunk, always stupid, and they let you be." She didn't argue. I pulled out my phone and hit play. A recording of my mum's voice. "Just let it go, Shanice. She's fragile. Don't ruin her life." Skylar flinched. "Why are you playing that?" "Because I want you to hear it. Every excuse they made, every time they chose you over me. I recorded them all." She stared at the floor. "I uploaded it," I said, "called it the Golden Child Files. People know now. They know what you are, what they are." "You really hate me that much?" I shook my head. "I don't hate you. I just finally stopped loving the version of you I made up in my head." I turned to leave. "Good luck with your therapy." As I reached the door, she said, "Do you think I'll ever come back from this?" I paused. "Not as the person you were. That one's gone." I walked out. A week later, the video hit 1 million views. Parents, therapists, survivors, everyone was talking about it. It became a conversation starter, a warning, a mirror. My parents didn't call, but a check showed up in the mail, made out to Aiden's trust. Every month after that, another one came. I never cashed them. Not yet. Delilah and I sat on the porch one night, watching Aiden chase fireflies. "You did it," she said. "No," I said. "I survived it." She smiled. Same thing. I looked out at my son, laughing in the grass, his dino clutched in one hand, and for the first time in years, I didn't feel like I was bracing for impact. I just felt still. Aiden tugged my hand as we crossed the park's gravel path. "Mama, look, the big slide," I smiled. "Go ahead, baby. I'm right here." He took off running, Dino in one hand, his curls bouncing with every step. I sat on a bench nearby, sipping iced coffee, sunglasses shielding my eyes from the late afternoon sun. Delilah slid in beside me a moment later, holding 2 snow cones. "Got you cherry. Don't say I never loved you." I took it. "You do know cherry's the worst flavour, right?" Exactly why I kept the blue raspberry for myself. We sat in silence for a moment, watching Aiden climb the ladder, waving at us from the top. "He's good," she said. "You're good." I nodded. "We're better." Delilah leaned back, stretching her legs. "You know, Skylar tried to post again?" I turned. "What?" "Some half-hearted attempt at a comeback. New account. Skylar rebuilds or some crap. Posted a graphic that said, 'Healing is messy but necessary. And tagged a candle brand. I snorted. Of course she did. She deleted it after an hour. Comments were brutal. Someone reposted your video under it and said, "Messi is leaving a baby behind a dumpster." I didn't respond. Just watched Aiden slide down, arms in the air like he was flying. "She's not coming back from this," Delilah said. "She shouldn't," I said. "Some people need to sit with what they've done." Delilah looked at me. "And your parents? They send a check every month. No note, no calls, just money. You cashing them?" I shook my head. "Not yet." She didn't push. Later, after the sun dipped low and the park started to empty, we packed up. Aiden was sticky with snow cone syrup and dirt, but happy. At home, after his bath, he curled up on the couch beside me, Dino under his chin. "Mama," he said sleepily, "you're my best friend." I kissed his forehead. "You're mine too." He drifted off within minutes. I grabbed my laptop, opened Reddit, and clicked Create Post. Biscuit subreddit. True off my chest. Title: My sister left my son behind a dumpster. I got revenge. Here's what it cost me. I started typing. I didn't sugarcoat it. I didn't hold back. I wrote about the party, the footage, the wedding fund, the affair, the lies, the restraining order, the therapy session that turned into a war zone, the live streams, the receipts, the downfall. I wrote about the silence afterward, the checks, the absence, the way people stopped calling, stopped asking, stopped pretending. And I wrote about Aiden, how he still wakes up sometimes crying, how he clings to me at daycare drop-off, how he's learning to trust the world again, one dinosaur at a time. I ended the post with this: I didn't do it for revenge. I did it to protect my son. If that makes me the villain in someone else's story, so be it. I sleep fine at night. He's safe. And that's all that matters. I hit post. Within minutes, the comments started rolling in. You're not the villain. You're the hero. This broke my heart and healed it at the same time. Protecting your child isn't revenge, it's survival. I closed the laptop. The next morning, I took Aiden to the park again. He ran ahead, laughing, free. I sat on the same bench, coffee in hand, watching him live. A woman passed by with a stroller and paused. "Hey, sorry to bother you. Are you the one who posted that story on Reddit?" I blinked. "Yeah." She smiled, eyes soft. "Thank you. I went no contact with my sister last year. I thought I was crazy. Your story made me feel sane." I nodded. "You're not crazy. You're just done." She smiled again and walked on. Aiden ran back to me, arms wide. "Mama, I did the big slide all by myself." I scooped him up, kissed his cheek. "I'm so proud of you." He giggled. "You're my superhero." I held him tight. Let them call it revenge. I call it protecting what matters, no matter what it costs.